Right then, still in Egypt, the cabinet there has approved a law abolishing prison sentences in bankruptcy cases and limiting punishment to just a fine instead. The Justice Minister up there, Hussam Abdelrahim, has announced these changes. Abdelrahim said that the new law restructuring insolvency procedures aims at establishing a mediating system to reduce resorting to the judiciary in bankruptcy cases. Now, the law, however, does introduce much harsher punishments for false bankruptcy claims, as well as implementing measures to protect both merchants and creditors as well. Let's see exactly what these measures entail. Yasser Hakim is live in Cairo tonight. He's got more data on this story. Yasser, thank you for your time. Why were these reforms necessary in the first place?
It's important for Egypt to reflect the kind of confidence that it needs from the foreign investors. It needs to give them that sense of being to work in a secure environment, and so that they can put their money into the economy. Obviously, the last few years it hasn't been secure enough. It hasn't been stable enough. The number of bankruptcy cases have increased in 2013 to 2014 about 100%. Another 68% in 2015. It was a bit down furthermore in 2016, but after the devaluation of the Egyptian pound, we've seen a lot of businessmen losing their money and their investments because the value of the pound dropped drastically. So this needs to give them the investors confidence that the Egyptian government, especially the tourist sector as well, is supported by the government.
Indeed. Walk us through this from the perspective of essentially outsiders, foreigners. Under Egyptian law, are there provisions perhaps for legal restructurings, protection from creditors, before we get to the point where we say, okay, now this business is essentially beyond salvage, it has to go into bankruptcy?
That's exactly what the new law is about. It's not about just avoiding to put in jail someone who's a bankrupt and owes money to others, but it's about helping this company, this plant, this industry to overcome the hurdles that led to this situation. So first of all, there's a department that will be called the bankruptcy department at the court, and that will help study each case through experts that will be assigned. They will study each case, then they will have a restructuring plan for the company, giving it advice and then monitoring the company whether it's abiding by the accepted plan. There's also mediating between the creditors and the company to help maybe ease the facilities of payment or sort of push off the payments for a while until the company is ready. And if all this fails, then it goes to court, and the process is much quicker now than before. One problem in the courts in Egypt is that it takes years to get a sentence in any court with several appeals. This time it's faster, it's only one stage, no appeal process. So it will help the investors. They will feel confident, especially with the situation here, that if they are in a mess, they will find help first before they go into court.
Indeed, that sounds very much like Chapter 11 style bankruptcy in the US legal code. One last question for you, Yasser. Now that the cabinet has approved the law, what happens next?
Simply, they're beginning to establish first what is called the bankruptcy department at the economic court, and then get the auditors and the companies that and the experts that will be working in the panels that will study each case, and will begin right away. They're saying they want to act quickly to start the review process and give the feeling to investors that they are about action, not about words. It will not take time, as the government is claiming.
Indeed. We'll leave it there for the time being. Yasser Hakim in Cairo, thank you very much for your input.